Welcome everyone to the Sustainable Cities Network Climate and Resilience Workgroup. We are very excited to have two speakers today join us from Healthy Urban Environments Initiative, which is known as HUE at Arizona State University. And so we've got Melissa Guardaro, who is with the HUE and CUR program, which is Knowledge Exchange for Resilience, and Liza Oz-Golden, who is the program manager for HUE, that are going to be joining us. We want to continue our conversation about mitigation of extreme heat and improving air quality in Maricopa County. And that's kind of HUE's sweet spot with their initiatives and their projects. And part of the presentation will also be today talking about funding opportunities, specifically targeting smaller cities and towns to develop innovative heat and air quality solutions, hopefully within the Maricopa County area, but possibly outside. So we're very excited. I have the good fortune of working with Melissa through our Arizona Heat Resilience Work Group. So if any of you are not part of that group and deal with heat relief, cooling centers, we should get you involved in that work group as well. So we can always share more of that as time goes on. And then I've dealt with Liza in her previous work out in the community with the county. So it's exciting to have her as part of ASU. So a little bit of background on Melissa. Her research focuses on adaptation, equity, vulnerability, urban policy, and governance for the mitigation and adaptation to extreme heat and urban heat island effects. As I mentioned, she co-leads the AZ Heat Preparedness and Resilience Work Group, but she also does a lot of other things. She's working to create neighborhood heat solutions that improve thermal comfort and public heat outcomes for the cities of Phoenix, Tempe, and Mesa, as well as the Nature Conservancy, the Maricopa County Health Department, and community-based organizations. She recently, well, probably not as recently, completed her PhD work in sustainability from ASU's master's degree, from ASU, and she also has a master's degree in sustainability and environmental management from Harvard and an MBA from Columbia University. So she has lots and lots of accolades. Liza Oz-Golden is the Healthy Urban Environments Project Manager. She is a certified urban planner with public health experience and was recruited to join HUE from the Maricopa County Health Department. She brings her expertise in working in the local area to make improvements in promoting healthy communities, social justice, and active transportation. She initiated and implemented the award-winning program Park RX Arizona with the City of Phoenix, Arizona Community Tree Council, and community-based organizations and health providers, which is a really wonderful program. And so she's currently working on a mobile cooling center in collaboration with the City of Tempe to serve the homeless population and serve as an emergency cooling center. So lots and lots of experience and expertise here between Melissa and Liza. So I do want to welcome you both. Liza, if you would like to share your screen. I do believe if people have questions, they can put them in the chat. If it's pertinent to the discussion, you might deal with them as the conversation and presentation goes on. Otherwise, we'll take all the questions at the end.
Okay, I believe that I'm going to share the screen for the first part.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So I will turn it over to Melissa and Liza. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and we're excited to tell you about all the things that are happening at HUE and also to present an opportunity as well. So HUE is actually an innovations incubator, and we're really focused on solutions, and we're funded by the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, IDA, the Industrial Development Authority. And we've been open for about 2+ years. And the first year, We had a lot of projects focusing on heat and air quality, but from an academic standpoint. And you'll see how we have progressed to year 2. They were far more community driven. And then this past year, they're also much more systems and more or less air quality focused as well. I'll get this right sooner or later. So I'm going to just briefly talk about urban heat and air quality. I know that this is probably a review for many of you, but bear with me, I'll make it really short and sweet. Urban heat actually has 2 components to it. One is the urban heat island, and the other is the impact of climate change. And this chart that you see right here, it's for Phoenix, but it's the maximum temperature. So this gives you an idea of how much by month the temperatures have been increasing over time from 1900 to 2018. But this is the one that's perhaps more troublesome. And this is something that we in the Valley can actually do something about as well. And this is the effect of the urban heat island. So once again, this is for the city of Phoenix, but these are the minimum temperatures. And you can see during these summer months just how hot it is at night. So in this last heat wave that we've had, some of the nighttime overnight lows were incredibly high. They were 90 degrees, and sometimes they were 90 plus degrees too. And that's actually really troublesome for human health. So the urban heat island, the main point here is that the materials that you're using, the way your urban form is configured, really allows for the slow release of heat overnight. And that's the reason why right here, you'll see such a tiny difference between daytime and nighttime temperatures. As opposed to the desert area, you can see it really heats up, but then it really cools down at night as well. And there are many different causes of urban heat: reflection back into the street, the building materials, like I said, heat released by buildings, air conditioning, and also your urban form. And because Hugh also focuses on air quality, we are very interested in what the air quality is here. And sadly, we have not been in an attainment zone for quite some time. And air quality, unlike heat, is highly regulated. So there are 2 components of air quality that we're most concerned with at Hugh, and one is ozone, and the other one is particulate matter. And particulate matter actually has 2 sizes, PM 2.5 and then PM 10. And the sources of these pollutants are unpaved roads, construction sites, wind dust, and then in ozone, these are industrial solvents, fuel combustion when everybody's burning their open fires, and car or vehicle exhaust. So at Hugh, we're looking at tackling heat and air quality together. And these are roughly some of the topical areas that we're working in. One is shade, whether that's engineered shade or trees or a combination thereof. Another one is materials, particularly materials as they pertain to cool pavement and parking lots, because we have a lot of paved surfaces here. And if we could figure out how to cool those down, that would be very beneficial. Air quality impacts, city and community planning. We've been involved in many big projects that are bigger than just, let's say, one block. And then adaptation and mitigation for impacted communities. And this is really our vulnerable populations. And then some regional governance. So we have many projects, but I'm just going to give the brief highlights of several of them. And if you want more information, you can go to the website, which is, I'll put it in the chat after I'm done. And you can just go to our projects page and you'll be able to see who's involved and what they're trying to do. So one of the projects is all about shade. And it's one thing to say we're going to increase the shade in a space, but we need to have the right tree in the right place. And we're actually involved in many different shade programs. This is just one that Ariane Medell is pulling her Marty cart, which measures something akin to how you would feel rather than surface temperature. Marty measures MRT, mean radiant temperature, which is what the body experiences through time. So if we're trying to solve the urban heat problem by making sure people are more thermally comfortable, we have to know how people manage through space. So this is one project that we have. We have others where we're trying to manage cool corridors and figure out what the best mix of trees and where should you put those places along the way. Another project is the cool pavements and parking lots. And I see that Mark Hartman is here. We are helping to fund the City of Phoenix Cool Seal Pavement Project. And this is the largest cooling sealant project in the States right now. And we're anxiously awaiting those results. I understand they're close to being done. And then we have air quality projects. Now, we funded a teleworking project before COVID, and it seemed like it was really forward thinking and very much advanced. But right now, you might say that I think that we've all done that experiment as well. We have a new project talking about asthma, pollution, and climate change education that's being done through Unlimited Potential in South Phoenix, which, as you know, has some of the worst air quality in the valley. We're also working on a novel dust suppression technique where what can be done to keep the dust down other than spraying water on spaces. Then we have many of these city community planning projects, and Heat Ready Cities is a project that I think some of you also might be involved in, and that's to come up with a framework for a city to be ready for heat, similar to being ready, a storm-ready city. So what are the protocols that you have in place? Who is involved in this? What decisions need to be made? What mitigation and adaptation strategies are you doing for long-term? And you'll see this Heat Ready brand shows up again and again through the other Hue projects as well. Another interesting project is Waking Up Wall Street, which is downtown Chandler, using an alleyway and trying to reactivate that into much more of a pedestrian space. Then we also have projects focusing on vulnerable populations. And as you know, heat doesn't affect all populations equally. So elderly, the children, people of low income, low education are particularly vulnerable to heat. So I see that Violsa's here, and she launched a heat awareness program in mobile home parks. And we also have Heat Ready Schools, which went in and tried to determine what rubric would you use to get your school ready for heat. And this is working in tandem with the state heat project, dealing with getting schools heat prepared and what is appropriate time on the playground and how do you manage heat. Place-based redesign is something that we've been funding for 2 cycles now, and this is a project with Jenny Vanas in the lead, working at the Paideia Academy, and it's activating a rather bleak playground into something that is just multifunctional. So not only does it have shade and grass and structures, it also becomes a learning space where you have chickens and you have a farm and you have educational materials along the way. And Anne alluded to this in the beginning, but one of the other projects that Hue supports is this regional governance working group, the Arizona Heat Preparedness and Resilience Working Group, which is quite a few cities, the health departments, not-for-profits, the faith network, and also academia to try to really solve some of these problems. So that's really my presentation. And then I'm going to take questions, I guess, at the end, and I'll hand it over to Liza.
Okay. Melissa, thank you for your presentation. I hope Melissa's presentation inspired you all to come up with your own projects. The U team believes there is a great opportunity within this work group to create a multi-disciplinary and multi-municipality collaboration led by Anne Richmond to identify a heat or an air quality problem and find a proper solution. The beauty of this work group is that you can look at the problem from different scales, locations, demographics, and your solutions can be later applied around the state. We seek to find high quality, community engaged solutions-oriented projects. Priorities will be given to proposals that demonstrate practical, real-world solutions which can be completed within the project duration of 1 year. We seek to leverage and amplify emerging or ongoing efforts which would benefit from additional financial supports from HUE. And a third priority will be given to new participants who have not received a grant from HUE. We want to encourage new partnership and collaborations with HUE. All projects must focus on the topics of developing and implementing solutions in the areas of air quality and/or urban heat. HUE is specifically interested in projects that address topics such as dust mitigation, landscape practices that reduce air pollution, transportation alternatives to improve air quality, integrating heat mitigation into the planning process. Does heat and air pollution affect asthma? If so, what are the interventions that can reduce the impact? Look at impacts of outdoor air pollution and extreme heat on indoors exposure. We are also interested in using systems view and green infrastructure interventions, and at creating or evaluating communication systems to warn vulnerable populations about heat and air pollution. We have 3 main themes. Training and evaluation may include public, workforce, K-12, or management education and capacity building through the development of curriculum, modules, workshops, standards, or awareness programs. Demonstration programs may include field and site-based pilot application or design elements, materials, techniques, or other innovative approaches which can demonstrate the effectiveness of mitigating heat and/or air quality. Technology development elements may involve basic or applied research and development of novel technologies and intellectual properties to address urban heat and/or air quality. Project teams should be interdisciplinary and reach across stakeholder groups. All project teams must include team members from 1 or more non-university-based organizations or stakeholder groups, and at least 1 relevant researcher or research group based at ASU. So most of you qualify the first criteria, and for the second criteria, Anne will be the ASU liaison and will lead this effort pre and post award. Eligible non-university-based organizations and stakeholders include municipalities, agencies, community or neighborhood groups, 501 nonprofit organization, real estate developers, commercial developers, local businesses, schools, or other relevant stakeholders not defined here. The 4 sections for your proposals should include project justification, describe the general background of the issue your project seeks to address, your proposal approach, and any relevant evidence, data, experience, or scientific merit to justify and support your approach to implementing your solution. This may also include any preliminary results which indicate the success of your approach. Solution outcomes, identify target solution themes, which are the project themes, and expected outcomes of your project. These may include tools, curriculum, technologies, databases, monitoring installations, or other resources related to heat and air quality mitigation. Project team, describe the composition of your project team and what roles and responsibility each member will serve. If you plan to engage additional partners who are not part of your core project team. Please describe these partners and their role relative to the project. The budget, please provide a summary budget for your project. If you need additional information, if we need any additional information or clarification, we will contact you or we'll be in touch with Anne. All proposals must be submitted by August 30th, 2021. Anticipated project start date is September 15th. Proposals should be 1 to 2 pages of text, not including references. Text should clearly explain the importance of all activities and solutions outcomes. Funding is generally limited to $50,000 of direct expenses to be spent within 12 months. Funding renewals are not envisioned. Brief quarterly reports and a more extensive final report will be required for each project throughout the awarded period. Any research component of the project must adhere to all appropriate and relevant ASU research protocols, including human subject review if applicable. And Anne will be your contact person here at ASU to guide you through this process. This was a lot of information and many detail. I encourage you to visit our funding page in our website. Make sure you follow the dates that I provided and not what's on the website. Please contact Anne or me if you have any question about the RFP. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to receiving your proposals at liza.golden@asu.edu. You have the information on the screen and you will have more information, as I said, on our website. Thank you.